Hello and welcome back to Bison Overtime. I'm Alex Dusky.
And I'm Malik Mitchell.
We've had a 2-week break because of spring break being last week, so we have a ton of Bison sports to cover for you guys. In this segment, we're starting off with football. The team has played 2 games since we last filmed.
Yep.
First game was against Southern Illinois, right?
Yep.
How did that go?
Southern Illinois, we beat Southern Illinois 21-13, which was expected because they're not a high-ranked team. But then we faced our rival school, which is UND, and people were saying it was supposed to be a close game.
It was not a close game. We won 34-13, boosted the Bison in the FCS rankings. We are now second, only behind James Madison, who the Bison do typically face in the championship. What did you see out of this game?
So, okay, Zeb Nolan had 5 completions out of 13 attempts for 127 yards. He had a touchdown, a 63-yard bomb to Kristen Watson, but he had 2 interceptions.
Right. It is important to note that that first interception wasn't really Zeb's fault. You know, the receiver kind of tipped him off. Wasn't really Zeb's fault. The second one was straight to the UND defender. The key star player, fullback Hunter Lupke, first game back since October. Yep. He had 195 yards, 3 touchdowns. This is how the game started. It was like 50 seconds into the game. Hunter drives for, I think, 55 yards, going all the way down
Bubbling and fumbling.
But it was initially called as just first down on the 1 yard line. But then we did get the touchdown, which I think was a big spark.
Look at him getting in there, getting the help from the team.
Definitely, it was important to have him back because star running backs that we have seen, Jalen Bussey, never played at all. Yep. I think he had a practice injury. And then we lost Kobe Johnson halfway through the game. Yep. Have you heard anything about those 2 players?
Coach Ent said, you know, they're still waiting on reports for Kobe Johnson. But he said that Jalen Bussey is not hurt, I guess. He said they could have used him Saturday, but they said they didn't feel the need to.
I think the coaches had more faith in the team than, you know, everyone's saying that it's going to be a close game, if that is true, because, you know, we saw Hunter, first game back since his shoulder injury, and then we did also see Dominic, the freshman, who had a couple good yards, especially towards the end of the game. Yep. So I think that was good. On the defensive side, what did you see? I know we got an interception early on. What else did you see from the defense?
Defense was solid. They clamped the running back, which is a high running back, in the FCS.
Here's that interception that we got.
With Dom Jones. Hey, shake and bake.
I think that was a really good turning point for the team because although I believe the Bison never trailed, the UND Fighting Hawks were gaining on the team at that point in time, and so I think it was a really good momentum switch. And you can see the players were very excited about that. Yeah. Sorry, what else were you saying about the defense? Yeah,
well, Dom Jones, he's really, you know, standout player on the defense. I think that's his 2nd interception.
I think so.
Yeah, he had one last game with Illinois. So he's really a good player. But defense seems solid. They didn't lose anything, to be honest.
Coach Hench was saying I think he was really impressed with the 3rd down conversion rate, like stopping the Fighting Hawks on 3rd down, which is so important. But I think it's also important to note the offensive line. You know, you can never really see stats on like, this offensive lineman made this many holes. But you can't have that great of a run game if the offensive line doesn't do their job.
And that's what he said. He said he doesn't give credit to them enough because, you know, when someone does something so consistent all the time, it's just, okay, that's what they're supposed to do. They always do their job. They don't have to worry about them. But, yeah, he definitely gave their credit to them and the tight ends that did a great job blocking.
Hunter was definitely very humble in his post-game interview. I was watching with him, and he said, you know, it's not all me. Every guy was doing his 111th on the team, and I thought that was really cool, too, that he recognized that although he basically had 200 running yards and won them the game, it was because of the whole team.
Yep, and we got some, thank the Lord, Christian Watson is getting more looks. He had 2 receptions for 83 yards and got him a touchdown, finally. It took him, 3-4 games?
I know.
4 games just to get him a touchdown.
I think also, you know, Zeb's getting more confident. In both against Illinois State last week, 2 weekends ago and UND, we did see Cam Miller. Miller played a lot more in that Illinois State game than Zeb did. This weekend, we started Zeb, threw that interception, got a little shaky, but I think it's a good mix. What do you think that Cam brings to the table that Zeb might be lacking on?
I think Cam has more athletic ability. He can run better than Zeb Nolan. He just seems more smooth. Like you can see, he didn't get nervous. He just played. I think Zeb gets a little shaken up or nervous, if you will. But
we were talking about that earlier today. You know, do you think Zeb is trying to fill Trey Lance's shoes? Do you think he's just under the pressure of being NDSU Bison football quarterback, or do you think he just needs a couple more weeks to adjust?
He doesn't need a couple more weeks. It's been what, 5? I think he's just really. Yeah, and deer in headlights, really trying to fill Trey Lance's shoes, because then you hear all these outside people too talking about he's not feeling like he's not doing good. He's not the one. That the breed quarterbacks each year that kind of count him out of not being one of them. And it
is, personally, he's only been here 1 year. He hasn't been bred by Bison football, Cam Miller is coming up next. He's a transfer, and I think that, although there are some mistakes that he's made that do need to get fixed. I think that this weekend, almost a pretty clean game except for that one interception. But like you said, talking about Cam, so here's a clip of Zeb passing the ball off, which is something that he typically does. But in this game, the running game was working for us. In other games, sometimes it won't. But you kind of mentioned it, how they'll put Cam in when it's 3rd and short, just to run it in, because he's smaller than Zeb. Switching gears real fast before we go to commercial, Pro Day happened 2 weeks ago. You were there. It was quarterback Trey Lance, Marquise Bridges, and Dylan
Raditz.
What did you see?
So Trey Lance was it looked like he was having a good time. It didn't even seem like no pressure. It was I would say it was easier than a practice. It was just him having a good time, him having throws like you're in the backyard with your dad or something. He did a really good job. 20-plus coaches came.
I think I saw it was 30 of the 32 NFL coaches were there.
Wow. Yeah, he did really good. But did you see any highlights on social media?
Yeah, I saw a lot from Trey Lance, and it wasn't just NDSU football. It was, some of my friends from high school were texting me saying, Alex, look, it's your school.
Really?
Yeah, and so looking at the draft projections right now, Trey Lance is supposed to go 4th overall to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I heard Atlanta's
There's also some rumors of him maybe going to the Patriots. What do you think would be a better fit for him?
Probably the Patriots, because with Cam Newton, he only has a 1-year deal. And, if Cam does bad, he can definitely fill that spot easily.
And I think Bill Belichick would be a very solid coach for him into the league. So if any of these players get drafted, I think the draft starts April 30th or the 29th. They will join 11 other former Bison, specifically, Carson Wentz, who is now with the Indianapolis Colts, and then Joe Haeg, who just won the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about him a couple weeks ago, just got traded to the Steelers.
And fun fact, he was at the UND game, too.
Oh, yeah, he was. I saw him there. So, all right, when we come back, we have 16 baseball and softball games to recap for you guys. Stay with us.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today, so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
welcome back. Now we're going to dive into baseball and softball. What's the inside scoop?
Okay, so starting with baseball. Before we start this segment, I will say we don't have time to specifically look at all 16 games.
Yeah.
So baseball started off 2 weekends ago, 4-game sweep against Dayton. All of those games were in Ohio. Pretty impressive. They started playing conference games last weekend against Western Illinois. They won the first 3 games, giving them an 8-game winning streak, which was the longest road winning streak in the country. Unfortunately, lost their final game against the Leathernecks 9-7. So the team is now 14-4, overall 3-1 in the Summit League. Who were some key players? I know we've talked about Bennett Hostetler. He was named the Summit League Player of the Week for the 3rd time in 5 weeks.
Yeah, so on Friday against Illinois, Peter Brookshaw had 3 runs, and Jake Mallett had 2 runs. Bennett, what's his last name?
Hostetler.
Yeah, Hostetler had 4 hits. On Saturday, they had the 2 games. Jake Malik and Zach Salerno had 2 runs. And in the second game, Jake Malik again and Bennett Hostetler had 2 hits and 2 runs.
So as we're seeing, you see Jake and Bennett's name a lot, but you're also seeing other names, which I think is really important. As Bennett is a senior, so this, unless he does play, with the extra year of eligibility, could be his last year with the Bison. And being Summit League Player of the Week, he is now the NDSU player to have received that award most in program history.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So pretty impressive. What do you think is going to happen coming up in these next couple of weeks?
I think they're probably going to be really tired because that was a lot of games. Like you said, 16?
Yeah. They played 8, softball played 8.
Yeah. So, but I think they can handle it. I don't know. Because if we're almost sweeping teams, we should be good. How do you think?
I think it'll be good when they can come home. This weekend they're still on the road against ORU. Basketball team, by the way, March Madness, ORU is going
crazy.
off.
Going crazy.
But for baseball, they are 7-12 on the season. They're on a 2-game losing streak, and ORU is 2-7 at home. So I think there is definitely potential for the Bison to kind of, okay, we lost, get back on the road, start winning, and I think. I don't think we come home for a couple more weeks yet.
Why would you want to come home? It's like, okay, it has got warmer, but I know they're playing in warmer states.
That is true. Oklahoma is pretty warm. Ohio is warm. I don't think Illinois was that warm.
Illinois might not be that warm.
All right, switching now to softball. They've had a rough couple of weeks. They've just had a rough season. I think it is a transition year for sure. They are 5-15 on the season right now. First weekend at the MTSU Invitational in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, they lost to Illinois State and MTSU, then they beat Dayton and MTSU, and then they lost to MTSU in the title game.
Yep.
Last weekend at the Jayhawk Invitational, they beat USD, lost to Kansas, and then lost to Kansas again and Tulsa twice.
Yeah, they almost got swept.
Who are some players, that have stood out to you even despite losing?
Only good highlights were just on Friday. Skylar Padgett got 3 runs and 2 hits, and 6 other players had 1 run. But all the other games is just tragic.
I think there's a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, and we've said this for all the sports. They're rusty. They barely had a season last year, and now having such a long off season. So this weekend, softball team starts Summit League play against Western Illinois. The Leathernecks are 5-11. Bison are 5-15. The Leathernecks have not played any home games yet, though. So this is their first home game, both teams' first conference game. How do you think that's going to go?
Well, home, a lot of teams play good at home. So if they really get pumped up, it might increase their game even more. And if we keep do you think we lost our confidence?
It's hard because, just like Bison football, Bison softball is typically, not necessarily first in the nation every year, but a good competitor in the Summit League. And so I think that they're maybe embarrassed right now. But they haven't played any conference opponents. And so since we don't really know much about the non-conference teams, they could be playing way out of their league, and as soon as they start these conference games, blow out the park.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so, if that's what you say, that means the first game, we'll see how it goes.
Right. It's a 4-game weekend? Yes, they play 2 games tomorrow, 2 games on Sunday. So next week we'll be able to recap that all for you. If you just have to, rapid fire, give me the score predictions for each of those 4 games.
Okay.
Don't think.
9-5.
Bison? Okay.
Bison win. And is that one team that we're playing hard? Like,
They are 5-11 on the season.
And we're 5-15.
Right.
Ooh, so that it might be a close game. It might be like 10-9 or something like that. It might be a close game.
I kind of expect things to be maybe a little lower, like 5-4, 7-3
7-3.
this weekend. I don't know. I feel like Western Illinois has just caused some issues for the women's teams. Volleyball had a couple tough games against them too, pretty close. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
Okay, yeah. When we come back, we'll get into soccer and volleyball.
No.
The Technology Learning and Media Center, located in the Quinton Burdick Building, room 150C, provides a variety of services to assist you with all of your technology-related coursework and personal learning goals. The TLMC offers one-on-one tutoring and assistance in topics ranging from basic computer skills to advanced topics such as design, Adobe products, and multimedia software. A resource library that includes books on the latest software releases, online resources including a lynda.com kiosk that provide free access to high-quality video tutorials on hundreds of topics. Free workshops on a variety of topics taught each semester by our student staff. Software and hardware for audio and video capture, conversion, and editing, plus personal assistance on your multimedia projects. Multiple scanners are available at the TLMC, including one large format scanner and a slide and film scanner. The Wacom tablet provides ultimate control in your favorite graphics and illustration software and can help you to create stunning digital artwork. Large format poster printing is also done at the TLMC. Our walk-in media resources include the Whisper Room sound booth for recording professional quality voiceovers and audio. The TLMC Media Studio is available by reservation and provides equipment and space for video recording, audio recording, studio photography, screen capture, and a green screen for special effects. If you have any questions on these services, be sure to visit the TLMC website, and while you're there you can check out a variety of learning and media resources, or just stop by the next time you're in the Quinton Burdick building and check out what we have to offer.
Hello and welcome back to Bison Overtime. I'm Alex, this is Malik. We're going into Bison soccer and volleyball. Starting off with volleyball, they've had a tough couple of weeks. They started off with playing Omaha. You were there. They lost both of their games in 5 very close sets. What was the atmosphere like? What did you see while you were there?
It was just a high-intensity game. Even from the fans, it was just crazy. I don't know how they lost that bad because they had all the support like anybody could give them. But
I think everything they lost just by like those 2 points. And it was like 25-23. Or I think a couple of the sets even went into extra points.
Yeah.
Freshman Allie Hinsey, though, we've talked about her a lot. She recorded the first 20 kills and 20 digs match by a Bison since 2010. Pretty impressive. That's 11 years, What other players stood out for you against Omaha?
Alexis Bachmeyer. Wait, is that the freshman?
Allie is the
freshman?
freshman. I think Alexis is the senior.
Yeah, so like Allie Hinsey and Alexis Bachmeyer were the 2 biggest ones.
Then last weekend they played Denver, lost the first game 3-0. Bison had 24 errors.
24 errors.
Right, so that's just, in the press release they just said that the team just could not get any momentum going because they kept making these mistakes. Second game, we got swept as well. What did you see from those 2 games?
Sarah Chuchin had 6 kills, Alexis Bachmeyer had 4 kills, and Allie Hinsey had 3 kills.
So obviously pretty low.
Yes.
Now, do you think that's because we just weren't on our game or because Denver was just that impressive?
We were on our game because we were talking about errors, and then you start losing confidence and stop being pumped up, so you play worse.
So the team is now 8-8 overall, 6-8 in the league. They have one weekend left against UND on the road up in Grand Forks. Fighting Hawks are 2-14 on the season. I want to know, what do you think happened? You know, the team started off so strong,
Yep.
and now just cannot get the momentum back.
I truly don't know. Each time they play, the fans are packed. They're getting all the support. I don't know. What do you think?
I think they might just be out of their league. You know, Coach Lopez. Well, no, because she said, you know, this is a rebuilding year. Although the girls are hungry for a win, hunger can only get you so far, and you need that practice, you need that skill, and you need that experience. And you know, she said that these girls are just young, excited, and she's, Coach Lopez she's very excited about their work ethic and how they take criticism, which I think are the two most important things as an athlete.
Yep.
But they just don't have that experience yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, track and field. Now they start their outdoor season. They can run in some good weather.
Right. Both of their teams open their outdoor season this weekend at the Wichita State Shocker Spring Invitational. I don't know about you, track and field always has super long names for all of their meets.
And golf.
Golf too. So both the men's and women's team were voted as the preseason favorites to win the Summit League Outdoor Championship this season. SDSU was to be second on the men's side, and USD was second on the women's side. What do you expect to see out of the teams for the outdoor season?
I think the men's are going to do what they did in the indoor. I'm still Alex Talley. That's my guy. I want to see what he does outdoor. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same. Outdoor is not really. I think outdoor affects more of the runners than anything else in field.
That's true.
Yeah. So, how do you think the girls are going to do?
I agree that the men are going to do really well. The track and field team, this was released yesterday. They led the Summit League and earned 6 of the 16 spots on the academic all-league team. So not only are they athletic, but they're also pretty smart guys to be making the academic all-league team. On the women's side, the team has won 12 state outdoor titles, and the men have won 10 straight outdoor titles. So do you think we're going to see exactly what we saw with indoor?
Yeah, it's looking like that. It's predicted to do great.
I think so too. The meet starts today. I think it started this morning. I couldn't find any updates yet, and then it'll go through tomorrow. So next week we will have all the information to recap that.
Yeah.
All right, well, when we come back, we have one last segment, and we will talk about women's soccer and wrestling.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
once I got on campus, it felt like home.
The NDSU bookstore has everything you need to show off your Bison pride. The bookstore can have you sporting green and gold wherever you go. It offers many different brands, sizes, styles, and selection so that you find exactly what you're looking for. Shop the NDSU bookstore and show your spirit today.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
once I got on campus, it felt like home.
Welcome back. Now let's talk about some good news with soccer and wrestling. So soccer, before spring break, they split the weekend with UND.
Right.
The first game they won 2-1. Danielle Alguera and Lavin Douglas had 1 goal, and Jess Hanley had the 2 assists.
Right. Jess Hanley's a girl that we've talked about several weeks now. She said she's a freshman, right?
Yep.
Okay, so lots of It's exciting when we can see these freshmen like stepping up, especially in soccer where it's a team sport.
Yep.
But you're the one making that goal. You're the one getting those points. And when it's a low-scoring sport like soccer, that's super important.
That's super important, and you get more of the spotlight too.
What happened in the second game?
The second game we lost. Don't know the score for that one. Do you know the score for that one?
I do not.
We lost. But now we're at 6-4 in the conference. They play SDSU today at 6 p.m. and on Sunday at 1 p.m.
And both games are at home here in Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
The team is, SDSU is 6-0-4 on the season compared to we are 6-4-0.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you think that's going to, we've played the same amount of games, we've lost 4, whereas SDSU has tied for 4 games.
So, okay. It should be an interesting game because we're 5-1 at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we play good at home. But SDSU, it's like a question mark. Like I don't know how really good they, because it's tied. They never lost.
Right.
It's tied. So you never really know.
I also didn't really look into it if they are when they tie, if it's 0-0 or if it's 2-2, 3-3, because that could also make a big difference.
Yeah.
If maybe SDSU is just a pretty strong defensive team.
And they don't let anybody score.
Right. So I think that's something that we need to see girls like Danielle and Lavin and Jess step up and make those goals.
Right. What's your prediction? Need to score.
Okay. First game 2-1 Bison. Second game 1-1 tie.
That's a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a good.
All right, switching now to wrestling. One of the last winter sports, I think, has now finished since basketball's done.
Mm-hmm.
Competed in the NCAA tournament last weekend. They had 4 guys in the championship. There is sophomore, 157-pounder Jared Freneck. He made it to the quarterfinals. And then freshman Owen Pence. He started out as a 31 seed, and then he upset the number 2 seed in the nation. What do you think that means? He's a freshman. That's his first tournament appearance. What do you think that means for the future of Bison wrestling?
Good. I mean, if he keeps the training going and knows that it doesn't matter if you're the top guy, I can still win, because people get, kind of timid and I can get crushed by this guy. He's really good. But now he knows it's not at a young age too.
Right.
So next year he should go beyond that.
I was watching the stream from the tournament, and it was crazy. I think they had 16 mats going at once. So you had a 16 split screen.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
Looking at all of these wrestlers, and I think wrestling is that one sport where you can have upsets, but very rarely. I think
really?
that
You think so?
Because if you are, the top 157-pounder, you typically beat all the other 157s in your region. So unfortunately, all the boys did end up losing in the consolation bracket, and no one made it to the final round. But overall, I think it was a pretty stellar performance from the Bison.
It definitely was. Good job to Jared Freneck, Owen Pence, and Luke Weber. And we're missing one more, right?
I think those were the 3 boys that made it to the consolation bracket.
Yeah.
I think the 4th one lost in the first. Yes.
But still, big ups to him. They really did a good job. Excited to see, and they're still young. Like Jared is only a sophomore, so good to see what they will do next year, because they will make it next year.
Exactly.
They will. Well, thank you for tuning in to Bison Overtime. I'm Malik Mitchell.
I'm Alex Dusky.
Be sure to tune in next week at 12:30 p.m. Have a good week. Roll Herd.
Roll Herd.